The PEX app for Sage Intacct lets you sync PEX expense transactions, receipts, tags or expense accounts, class, customer, notes, and more with your Sage Intacct account. Before getting started, you will need to have subscribed to PEX API access, or you will receive an error message when trying to connect to your Sage account. You must also have web services enabled in Sage Intacct. Please contact Sage to enable web services for your account if you have not already done so. There are some prerequisite steps in Sage to set up before you get started in PEX. The first of which is to ensure document numbering is set up on your Sage account so transaction receipts are imported over correctly. First, click on the down arrow on the Applications tab, followed by the word Company under the Setup section. Click on General Information and click Edit. Ensure the attachment sequence type is set to Attachments, which will automatically create a unique number for each attachment. Hit the Save button if it's not selected. Next, to add PEX's sender ID, click on Company followed by Company Info. Click Edit. Then click on the Security tab. Go to the section labeled Web Services Authorizations. Remember, you must already have web services enabled on your Sage Intacct account. Now click the Add button. The sender ID is PEX MPP. It is crucial to create the sender ID identically as shown here, PEX MPP. Next, to create a web service PEX sync user in Sage Intacct, click on the Company tab and hover your mouse over to the Admin section on the screen, and click on Web Services User. In order to create the user, click on the Add button and set the user ID as PEX_connector. This username indicates a non-billable user and is used exclusively for the integration. It is required to add the last name, first name, and email address. For email addresses, use the email address of the person managing the PEX account or the sync. Set the user type as business and the administrator privileges as full, then hit Save. Once the Web Services PEX user is created, you will receive an email from Sage Intacct containing a temporary password. To set up the General Ledger account from the home screen, click on the arrow next to Applications. Click General Ledger, and then General Ledger Accounts. To create an account, click Add. Enter an account number not currently used. The title can be named PEX Account so that the balance sheet account will remain a balance sheet account. The normal balance selection must be debit, and the period end closing type remains a non-closing account. The status must be active. Now that the prerequisite steps are completed, log into your PEX dashboard and click on the App tab on the left navigation menu. Click Available at the top. Choose PEX Connector for Sage Intacct. Click on Install and then Launch. From your Sage Intacct account, enter your company ID, user ID, and user password in PEX Connector for Sage Intacct. Note the user ID is the Web Services Sync user PEX_connector. On the Choose What to Sync page, enable the first option to allow PEX to import PEX purchases as expenses in Sage Intacct. You can choose if you wish to sync all PEX transactions regardless of approval status or just approved ones. We recommend Approved so that you can preview the tag options the cardholder selected before it automatically syncs. Enable the second option to import PEX receipts as expense attachments in Sage Intacct. Enable the third option to have PEX import transfers to your Sage Intacct account. An example of a transfer would be an ACH wire transfer from your business checking account to your PEX business account. Enable the fourth option to have PEX account fees into Sage Intacct, such as card expedite or monthly maintenance fees. You can use an existing fees account or create an account specific to PEX account fees to prevent miscategorization. Choose an account from the drop-down list which is set up for your PEX business account in Sage Intacct. Enable the fifth option if you want to automatically create a unique vendor in your Sage Intacct company file for each PEX transaction merchant. If you do not choose this option, all PEX transactions will be booked against a single vendor selected from the drop-down option. Specify a start date for the sync. Transactions after this date will be synced. The connector supports transactions that are up to a year old. On the Configure Sync Options page, select an asset account that represents your PEX business balance. We recommend creating one called PEX to easily identify your purchases. Select a journal to use for PEX transactions. We recommend creating one called PEX to easily identify your transactions. Select the default location for PEX transfers and PEX account fees. On the Configure Expense Account page, assigning an expense account is mandatory for transactions to be imported from PEX to Sage Intacct. PEX tags can be mapped to Sage Intacct fields for automatic classification of transactions. The expense account should be mapped to a PEX tag. You must provide a PEX tag mapping for expense account. Sync tag options from Sage Intacct gives an option to import data from your Sage Intacct account when configuring your PEX tags. For example, if you enable sync tag options from Sage Intacct for expense account, the values for the PEX tag will be populated with the names of all expense accounts in your Sage Intacct account. This helps reduce manual efforts to populate PEX tags with the data from your Sage Intacct account. Enabling sync tag options from Sage Intacct will not cause duplicate values in the corresponding PEX tag. You can map PEX tags, type equals dropdown, to other fields in Sage Intacct such as class, customer, project, location, department, employee, item, warehouse, billable. Once you hit Finish, it will take you to the Manage Connector page. From that page, you can view Edit Configuration Setting, view Edit Tag Mapping, view Sync History, trigger sync manually, disconnect from your Sage Intacct account. Your connector will sync automatically every night.